Hi. All right, so today's topic is going to be on when's the best time to work out, how to work out on vacation, and there's a couple other questions I'll go based off of that. I actually got a couple questions like that. Funny enough, my mom asked one, but then I got it from another person and another person, and they're all somewhat related, and then I figured that I would use ChatGPT, not ChatGPT, but AI to help. Now, I'm going on camera there. Actually, I'm just going to give that a little. That's probably better. Sorry, I thought it was a little smudgy. Maybe it's just me. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, I look good. I look good. Sorry. Okay, back on track. So I know I got feedback not to touch my nose. It's always itchy. Does anybody know how to not make your face not itchy for like 20 to 30 minutes? I don't know. I don't know. Okay, what is the best time to work out? So there's science, but then there's also logistical perspective. So an afternoon workout, or kind of early evening, like 2 to 4, is when strength and endurance can peak. But not many people can actually get workouts in between 2 to 4 p.m., right? So that's not necessarily the actual best time to work out. You could also make an argument, a morning workout, you won't necessarily be as strong because you're still waking up, but there's like an afterburner effect. I don't believe in the science anymore because it doesn't really exist. It's called EPOC, exercise post-oxygen consumption. It's how Orange Theory sells their science, but it's been pretty much disproven for the most part. It's negligible science at best. But you can make an argument from a psychological benefit that if you've worked out earlier in the day, you've already greased your groove, you've gotten ahead of the step count, ahead of the activity count, and actually the rest of the day you'll feel good. You also dump a bunch of feel-good chemicals into your body earlier in the morning. You're also more likely to be consistent. You have fewer distractions. You're less likely for other stuff to pop up in the day to ruin your workout. My morning clients almost never miss with me. My evening clients miss sometimes. That's an easy way to think about it. Usually beginners don't have an easy time doing it in the morning because they're not used to waking up an extra hour early. That means they have to go to bed an extra half hour to an hour. So you can make that argument too. You got to get up at 5 a.m. and get your workout in. Well, if you're going to bed at midnight, that might not actually be the best approach because then you're getting 5 hours of sleep. That extra sleep, an hour and a half, could pay dividends. And if you can get your workout in then after work, that's probably optimal. Too late in the night, it could affect your quality of sleep too. Any workout's still better than no workout. And so the logical perspective is, what can you just stick with the most consistent? And if mornings are chaotic for you and you can't get up earlier than you already are, right, then those early morning workouts might lead you to burnout if you're not getting to bed at time, right? And if in the evenings you're just mentally drained, you might skip the workout altogether. Maybe it's lunchtime. I actually would make an argument lunchtime could be the best for a lot of people. Why? Well, even if you have a half hour for lunch, does it actually take you a half hour to eat? Probably not. You can easily get a 20-minute workout in, followed by some food. Yes, you can make the argument, work clothes and sweat, so then there's a difference there. But if you work at home, it's much easier than you do a 20-minute workout every lunchtime. And you can also split your workouts up. And so you could do 20 minutes at lunch and 20 minutes in the evening. And that's perfectly fine. 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes in the evening. So that's the other aspect of when's the best time. You could also make an argument the best time is spreading it out throughout the day. We talk about microdosing in the context of exercise. If you think of medicine, microdosing medicine, is it better to take all your painkillers at 7 in the morning and not again until 7, or do you take some painkillers at 7 in the morning and some at 7 at night? Probably morning and night. You could do the same thing with your workout. You could spread it out. And so that's sometimes actually more time efficient. It's easier on the body, it's less stressful. And if you can only get one of those 2 microdoses in, it's still better than nothing. So there are components like that as well. My buddy, his name's Wes, he's been on the show. He sometimes can work out at home. Or sorry, he works out at home, but sometimes he could work at home. And he does specific strength training, but his workouts are like an hour and a half, 2 hours long because there's so many rest periods. I tried to convince him to do 30 minutes before work, 30 minutes at lunch, and 30 minutes after work, just for fun. Especially from a strength standpoint, you could actually get a lot of crazy benefits even if you're not used to that. In the end, it's the consistency factor. I'm lucky that I can usually work out between like 9, 10 a.m. start time and 2, 3 p.m. start time. And that's like the perfect time to work out in reality. You've been up enough, you've had a bite to eat, maybe 2 bites to eat. That's another aspect. I don't like to eat right away and then go work out. I need personally at least a half hour to an hour to digest. If I was to eat and then have to go to the gym right away, I might even need to walk a bit to kind of get the digestion going if I have the time and then I go into my workout. But most likely, if I have the time, I'm not going to go to the gym that much earlier after I eat anyway. You can experiment with different times. Pay attention to how you feel. My guess is if you want to be consistent, your early morning workouts, not too early, but like those will probably be your best bet. Especially if you're retired. Get it done. Wake up. This is what I would do. I'd wake up. I would do some light mobility, make breakfast, go for a walk after breakfast, go for a workout. That's what I would do if I was retired. And so it might look like wake up at 7, light mobility from like 7:15 to 7:30, right? While your coffee's getting made. Have your coffee, have a little bit of breakfast, go for a walk. Maybe you take the dog for a walk. Okay, it's 8:39. Now you get your hard lift in. That would be like perfect to me. It's not always going to happen like that. The other nice thing of getting your workout done early is then you have the rest of the day to not worry about getting your workout in. But yeah, that's just how I would do it. Now, what about on vacation? Again, kind of similar sort of question, like when should you work out on vacation? What could that look like? So let's talk about a couple different kinds of vacation. Maybe you're at a all-inclusive resort. You're probably drinking a bit. You're probably staying up later. You're also probably sleeping in more than you normally would. And you're probably eating a lot of food. Now, in general, from a health standpoint, again, I would highly recommend front loading the healthy food. So for breakfast, skip the waffles. I've never had good sweet breakfast at a all-inclusive resort for the most part. Sure, maybe there might be like a French toast dish once in a while, but for the most part, it's not that appetizing, especially because a lot of these resorts don't have real Canadian maple syrup, and that's the shit. Everything else is actually trash. So I would stick to maybe an egg or two, a little bit of meat, and whatever like breakfast meat they have, and a good amount of fruit for breakfast. Then at lunch, I'm heavy meat, especially in these all-inclusives, the steak and the seafood, high nutrition, high quality protein. It's not over greasy. You won't feel sick. And then again, a little bit of fruit, a little bit of salad. And then dinner time, you can kind of splurge a little bit. Maybe you go to a nice steakhouse or a nice pasta. But for the most part, a lot of these all-inclusives, if it's just the buffet, the carbs on it are like the low quality kind of carbs, so you're going to feel sick anyway. Fruit is fruit, and the meat is meat. So I would just stick to that. You're probably drinking a bit. I personally, when I did all-inclusives the last little bit, I'm not drinking until 2 or 3 p.m. That way I can pace myself. It's honestly vodka sodas. A little bit of vodka and water. Stay hydrated. Again, minimize the sugars. Maybe I'll treat myself to 1 or 2 sugary drinks in the day, over the course of the day, but the sugar is what's also going to make you feel sick. And you just don't want to feel bad during your all-inclusive resort. So what you can do in that situation then is just, again, pace yourself. I'm not a huge drinker anyway. Workout-wise, when I was in the all-inclusive almost a year ago, I guess, 9-10 months ago, friend's bachelor party. It's a bachelor party. I actually told myself I was not going to work out for the week. I had a really hard working out block before I left. So I took a whole week off. I mean, I've still played a little bit of beach volleyball. I swam a bit, I did a lot of walking, took in a lot of sun. So that was a good reset. If you're like me and you're constantly working out, it's not the end of the world to take a week off. If you're like me and you still want to get some workouts sometimes, then what you could do is a very quick full body workout. Do 2 to 3 sets, squat or lunge, one or the other. Some kind of hinge or hamstring curl, one or the other. Some kind of pressing motion, whether it's a bench press or shoulder press, one or the other. And one kind of row motion, whether it's a chin up or a body dumbbell row. So those are 4 movements. You have squat slash lunge, hinge, push, pull. Pick 4 movements, 2 to 3 sets, 8 to 12 reps, moderate weight, and that's a great way to maintain kind of muscle stimulus. Another one too is you can do a very short HIIT workout if you're not a beginner. If you're at least a intermediate level, because you don't want form to break down, you can do you could also just treat it like it's more cardio side of things anyway. You can also just focus on lots of walking on the beach. You can also focus on playing games, again, like beach volleyball, throwing the football around. That can be great too. You can also just do some stretching and mobility. A lot of times on these resorts, they also have like a yoga class poolside. So that's also another idea as well, right? Again, just tracking your steps, right? You're going to be sightseeing anyway or not sightseeing, but like be walking around, soaking up the sun. And you got to remember that just because you're resting doesn't mean it's not productive. And I can fall into that trap as well. You also can remind yourself that like a 10-minute workout is better than nothing, and it's focusing on keeping that habit alive. I bring bands with me. So then here's another kind of vacation. Let's say it's more tour side of things. So there's all-inclusive resort, then there's more tourist and sightseeing. You're probably going to be walking around a decent amount with the tours and sightseeing. You're also probably on the bus a lot. So getting on a little bit of mobility when you wake up and before you go to bed, gentle stretching, especially bringing the lacrosse ball for your foot. That can be key. Focusing on getting good sleep because, again, you're probably out and about all day. And focus on at least 1 or 2 of your meals out of the 3 being moderately healthy, because you're probably going to splurge on vacation in general once a day on something that's maybe not the healthiest, but something that's super tasty. If you're like me, who's doing more of a digital nomad style, it's not going to be that much different than at home, where you just go find a gym, you do day pass, week pass, month pass. So here, it was $200 for a month. And that's obviously because it's a month. I would say 100 is pretty standard per month if you get like a year thing. I wasn't going to argue or complain and barter. It's a nice gym. It's a clean gym. I probably could have found something that was closer to 100. But I like the gym that I chose. I'm going to be going pretty much every day. $200 divided by 30 is what? $6, $5? Like it's $6.66 a visit. That's nothing for an hour, like hour and a half. So to me, it's still great like that. If you're only going to be going, if you're here for a month and you go twice a week, you might be better off doing drop-in classes and maybe do a boxing class one time, a yoga class, go to a park and bring some bands and do calisthenics. I brought a suspension trainer and bands with me. So when I'm in Peru, I won't be getting a month. I'll probably have to get like a day drop-in pass, which in my experience can be anywhere from 10 to 15 bucks. And I might just do that every other day, so it keeps the cost moderately low. And then the other days I do my bands and body weight and mobility and suspension trainer stuff. And that's perfectly fine too. When I was in Dominican for a month, not the bachelor party, a different time, I didn't have access to a gym. It was a 20-minute Uber ride, which Uber, they were, the Dominicans there were charging you 3 to 4 times what Uber was actually asking you. They'd pick you up with Uber, cancel the Uber ride. Hey, by the way, I'm the only Uber guy here. This is the actual cost. Uber undercharges us. And I'm like, yeah, bullshit, but I don't have a choice. Because then when I go to the city, there's so many Uber drivers, they would drive me back at the Uber rate. But getting to the city was like 3 to 4 times it. And they're like, oh, gasoline. It's like, yeah, that's what the Uber's for. So they had a racket. It's like you're driving a BMW like in Dominican as an Uber driver. Okay, bud. Anyway, so I would go twice a week so I could get some groceries, do some stuff around the city, and the other days I was kind of more in my little, I guess, villa, condo area, more relaxing. So my condo workouts, it was 2, 3, sometimes 4, 10 to 20-minute workouts. And there was like light sprinting on the beach, footwork on the beach, plyos on the beach. I had bands, so I could do a lot of banded stuff, body weight stuff, suspension trainer stuff. And that was light and easy, but I would do it frequently. And then when I went to the city, I would go to the gym first and then get gym first, sightsee, get groceries, come back. And the gym, because I was going about twice a week, I'd be like, okay, I'm doing a day pass. I'm gonna go a harder workout because I have a lot more time to recover. So it's like hour and a half, 2-hour workout, pretty heavy, pretty high volume. Because I wasn't used to doing two a week. I was used to doing like 5 to 6 a week. Weirdly enough, I actually got pretty decent results because it's a different stimuli, right? So again, that was just kind of how I managed it. And again, obviously balance it out. If you can get to a place that has a Airbnb or a hotel with a gym, then that's great. That makes it so much easier, but not always going to have that. So the resistance bands take up no space and no weight in my carry-on. Same thing with the suspension trainer. You got to remember too that there is jet lag, and sometimes it's just a matter of getting out for some sunshine and walking, and that's good enough. Light stretching, yoga. You don't need to do that hard, intense workout the day after you've traveled, the day before you've traveled. And treat your workout as part of your itinerary. So for me too, it's like going to a nice park and getting my workout in is perfectly fine, right? If you miss a workout, it's not the end of the world, right? If you missed a whole month worth of workouts, it's still not the end of the world. But of course, someone like me, that actually could be the end of the world, right? Just stay active in other ways too. Like I have a pool here as well that I could always swim in. Pack light, portable equipment, like I said, jump rope, resistance bands, minimal space. Focusing on health on your vacation. Sometimes your health isn't always about working out. Sometimes it's about getting sun, less work stress, reconnecting with yourself, recharging your batteries. Burnout decreases creativity. So when you're on vacation, your creativity should go up because you're probably not burnt out as much. And sleep. Again, as nice as it is, you go to a resort, yeah, I want to stay up all night and party. Okay, you stayed up until 2 a.m. because you want to get the most out of it, but now you're sleeping in until 10 or 11 a.m. So you miss a lot of the morning that you could be out on the beach or in the sun, and you're just tired and you feel awful. So like, sleep, stay hydrated, right? Those two things are very important. And yeah, you can still go out and party, but if all you did is party, it's actually going to ruin pretty much the rest of your day. And even then, you won't want to party necessarily the next day anyway. So balance indulgence with mindfulness, right? Enjoy the local cuisine, portion control with alcohol. I like to say spend your alcohol points carefully. So if you have one beer every hour on the hour for a whole day, you're not necessarily going to feel drunk, but it's relaxed. But that's also a decent amount of calories. Do you need to do that at the start at breakfast? Can you wait until 2 p.m., 3 p.m., and then you have a couple beers and you're doing half the amount of beers, but it's more the afternoon and evening when you want to relax anyway? You're going to feel much better, right? Hydration, extremely important. And try to stick to somewhat of a regular sleep schedule. Here I've actually been using eye mask and it helps with kind of the extra light, although it keeps sliding up my face. Again, set realistic goals. Maintenance is more than enough that you can ask for on travel, whether it's short or medium term. Yeah, if it's long term, a month, you actually might be able to make some gains. But for most people, the way they travel, it's like a week vacation. Maintenance, 1 to 2 actual workouts would be great. Even then, just 15 minutes every day of dedicated movement, that's amazing too. Hit your steps, that's also very achievable. And just focus on what you can do. Walking and exploring. Walking's low impact, easy accessible, obviously reduces stress, you're out in the sun. And when you're walking in nature or new environments, new cities, new cultures, you're going to boost your well-being and creativity as well. Go to some sightseeing, hike up a mountain, go around to the downtown area, explore the cities, explore the parks, explore the trails, right? And this is just combining your actual travel with fitness as well, right? So I think that's important. Accountability, just maybe your steps. Maybe you check in with a trainer. I have clients who check in on with me. Hey, Nick, look how many steps I took today. Amazing, cool, awesome, right? And maybe you habit stack. So it's like, for me here, it's okay, I'm going to get my workout in, and then I'm going to go to a coffee shop, or I'm going to go to a coffee shop and then get my workout in. And my coffee shop's for my deep work, get my workout in, come back, get another meal. And that's kind of been my routine. And then again, you can focus on the psychology of the vacation. So if you feel guilty about skipping a workout, that's something you might need to address. You shouldn't feel guilty, but if you do, that's okay. Recognize that. Why do I feel guilty that I'm missing my workouts? And that can lead to unhealthy relationships with fitness. I'm a little bit in that as well. So reframe the exercise of self-care rather than punishment, of course. But sometimes the self-care is missing a workout or two, and see how you feel. Rest and recover. And that's going to be essential for this long-term process. And overtraining, which is something that I know I can do, can lead to burnout. The funny thing is, I actually can probably get away with overtraining when I'm more of a digital nomad, because I can focus on sleep more, I can take my naps, and that helps with the burnout. Remind yourself that vacations are a time to recharge and rest. You miss a workout, think big picture. You're not going to worry about that workout in a year from now. And again, use the travel as an opportunity to try new activities, paddleboarding, different kinds of hikes, different kinds of yogas, keep things fresh, keep things fun. When I'm in Peru, I'm going to be focusing on hiking a little bit more. At least that would be my goal. And that means, I might not get my workout in every day. I'm going to be like, you know what? I'm going to go for a long, good hike today. And that's perfectly fine. Packing your essentials for fitness on the go. Like I said, resistance bands, the big monster loops or tiny booty band loops, and suspension trainers. I think that's good enough. Oh, I also bring a lacrosse ball so I can roll out my foot. I can bring those anywhere. I bring a couple lacrosse balls. Some people will bring a yoga mat. That's fine. I don't think you need that. You could double up with just a towel, and then that's good enough. Don't overpack. Keep things light. And you can also use just this travel as a deload week. So for example, you have you're going to take a vacation in a month. Okay, the month leading up to the vacation, I'm training hard. I normally train 3 times a week. I'm going to go 4 to 5 times a week. I'm going to push my body. The last week, I'm really going to push it. Boom, vacation week, nothing or very light. And then that's a good recovery week. And you can build it in anyway. I do that with clients all the time. Hey, Nick, I have a trip coming up, blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool. That's in 3 weeks. That's in 6 weeks. We're going to build into very hard, intense workouts right before that. And then it's a great time to take a break anyway. And so I do that around Christmas time as well with most clients, knowing that they're going to have that extra bit of rest. But yeah, that's kind of a rundown of how I would be coaching myself and clients through travels and vacations. So again, thank you for these questions. Part of this was my mom, part of it was a couple other clients asking me how I do my trips or just experience of working with my clients. Until next time, guys.